Good morning, warm morning it is. I make you welcome to Enterprise Morning, right here on Enterprise Television from our corporate headquarters in Lagos State, Nigeria. I am Henry Igwebike. I love to say thank you to everyone who has been part of our journey right here on Enterprise Television. Wherever you've watched or streamed from around the world, we say thank you so very much for your time. We truly do appreciate it. This morning, we would kick off with our newspapers. From there, we would, of course, crisscross to our conversation for today. Do well to be part of the journey. You can do that when you follow us at enterprisetvnews.com. That's our website where you go read up on everything we have to talk about today. And also, if you want to join the conversation, you can always do that when you visit us at Enterprise TV7. Let's get cracking with our stories for today. But doing that, I have live right here in our studios Innocent Atuluba, journalist, public affairs analyst, development communicator, to see through all that we have to talk about today. Good morning to you, Innocent.
My pleasure to be here.
I love your dressing today. You're looking all deeper.
I'm trying to balance Nigeria's religious divide.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Sometimes we should appreciate where we come from.
Unity in diversity.
Unity in diversity.
Yes. My friend told me, have I joined the Islamic religion?
Yes.
And I told him the religion is in the heart.
Yes.
Not in the toga we put on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's kickstart this morning with our newspapers. But just before we get into that, I think let's take a look at some of the most trendiest events happening. And particularly, let's get to one of Nigeria's greatest personality of the decade, and that's Vincent Otse, aka the Very Dark Man. Innocent, if you observe for some time now, Very Dark Man has been so instrumental in some ways, even better than we would expect from state actors in Nigeria. He's a non-state actor, by the way, but he's been so instrumental. Yesterday, I was watching one of his videos where a Nepalese man who was scammed of 1.6 billion naira. And he said that the scam happened at the headquarters of the Nigerian police force. And that was when Egbetokun was the IG of police at the time. And the reason it was easy for him to get scammed was because he thought he was working with authority, right? Because the police were there and they all orchestrated the scam, according to the Nepalese man. And Very Dark Man has promised to do what he can to ensure that the money is recovered. Apart from that, we have other things that he has been taking care of. Innocent, speak to me on why Nigeria would abdicate its responsibility and allow a non-state actor to do all of that. Any Nigerian is happier to meet the Very Dark Man to get a bit of reprieve than going to our courts or the Nigerian police force.
It's an anticlimax. The expected is now not available. And the balance is when the desirable is not available, the available becomes the desirable. Very Dark Man is, he epitomizes the power of social media. And social media is uncouth, like it doesn't follow procedure. Whereas the traditional media reports will go through your editorial desk for vetting, editing. The social media is raw, is what I mean by it's uncouth. And they say it as it is. There are no gaps for PR, for polishing, and for makeup. Yeah, and that's where, aside from Very Dark Man, on the way when these law enforcement people stop you and you're videoing them, they don't like it.
They don't like it.
Because what would have been secret is now laid bare. And if you are in law as a student, the highlight of your 400 level is the law of evidence. Evidence is big. So the Very Dark Man sits somewhere you and I don't know. People who are web enabled, whether laptop, iPad, phone, whatever it is, can reach him quicker than you can go to the police station in your backyard. You don't need to fill any form. You don't need to ask for somebody. You don't have to be physically asked to sit down. We are coming, and then somebody runs in to make arrangement. This troublesome man is... No. It's an open door, and those are the facilitations of the internet. Then, secondly, did you say a Nepali was scammed?
Yes, scammed.
At a Nigerian police station?
The headquarters in Abuja, particularly.
How do we begin? Because the police station would have been where the man went to seek reprieve.
Reprieve, yeah.
So he went to the police station on his own foot and became a victim there. Yeah. It's an interesting case.
Very, very interesting, really.
Because I have to think and breathe to rest. But I think it means if we go the very dark man's methodology, this case will be messy. It will be dirty. It will be revealing. And you will find many counter accusations. You will find many accusations. You will find allegations and counter. If the Nepali, I just mentioned the law of evidence, does not have a bouquet of convincing evidence, even if he was scammed for real, he will lose. So, very dark man is he has a job in his hand.
Yeah, has a job.
And notice that very dark man does not have a police, army, or whoever. So if his investigative journalism, if his detective acumen, whatever it is sharper to bring the result, he deserves an award.
He deserves it.
But it must be said that it is shameful. Whereas we should have gone to the police, people now find it more comfortable approaching the very dark man. Because, okay, the news making the rounds now says the National Assembly or the Senate has approved a 15-year jail term for Adeyemi over the PFIPC fake agency scandal. Has it been tried anywhere? Has it undergone trial? Where is the spinal cord for this approval to take effect? You know, but we can see the man directly having a conversation with a very dark man, spilling his own side, because in law, audi autorem partem is hear ye the other side. So he's spilling his own, and it's direct to the world. Is where I'm also worried. He disclosed he'll go to a police station in Abuja, I think, to tender his authentic papers from the beginning. I would think those papers should be on social media before he goes to the police station, so that either option A or option B, his papers would have reached. Because one of the titles of the book of James Hadley Chase is The Dead Stay Dumb. And one of the prime character in this whole saga, we hear in an Utako hotel that had never had a fire incident, the man has died there. So whatever evidence he carries, Vilfredo Pareto writes that history is the graveyard of aristocracy, the graveyard of wealth and ideas and knowledge. This our man has just contributed to the growth of graveyard secrets. If this other Oga Adeyemi wants to go to the police station in Abuja, for instance, I would suggest he gets insured with sharing those documents with very dark man, sharing them across social media. Anything can be downloaded, Henry, and printed, you know. So, but in summary, it's appalling. I like the word anticlimax, that a Nepali who went to a police station got scammed. That people who should take cases, especially investigative cases, to the police are now taking it to very dark man. You will ask, even the clamor for state police, if other numbers of very dark men emerges with convincing conclusions, Is the police not going to be obsolete one day?
And the danger is riddled all over it, because we might not have people as sound, as patriotic as the very dark man. Others would love to abuse such an opportunity when they have that, which I think is not good for our society. Any society that is known as a free ride state, it means a government, a state that has abdicated its responsibility and left it to non-state actors to carry out what is known as hybrid governance, which is not good, not good for any association or a community. But let's get to the Guardian newspaper for a beat here and see what we have here. Legal distractions, intimidations, weaken opposition's 2027 contest. We have Nan's names 43 institutions in Nelfond double tuition scandal. Ex-police man reject Pencom's option B to protest the poor welfare. Tinubu hails Benue's industrial growth as Alia commends the federal government's reform. Let's go to Benue for a bit, Innocent Atulugba. It's quite interesting. The Reverend Father Gentleman Governor. Has he done anything really that's worth congratulating from the federal government at this point? He said he called it industrial growth in Benue.
I would like the editor to leave that newspaper on the screen and zoom that Benue headline for our audience to see if we can have it. But if you look at that place, it's a cycling of commendations. The governor hails the president commends, so these are prebendalism in political science. What Nigerians, and indeed Benue indigenous in particular, need is for the government to convince them with tangible pragmatics. Oh, there was no oil, there was no garri, no yam, the roads are bad, is the cry of the people. Fix a road, let the people see. Or incentivize farmers, fertilizer, tractor, cooperative society, utility, or loans. Let us witness increase in yield. This oral ticking of scorecards, and Nigerians in the afternoon are looking for that thing you said with a torchlight and cannot find, is the bane of masses and government relationship as within the pivot of trusts. This government under President Bola Tinubu may have done a lot. 3 years, I don't believe was wasted. I don't believe so. I believe the government under President Tinubu across 2023 till now, months away from wrapping up their first tenure, has done a lot. I believe that. But can we see the a lot? If you call Onanuga, if you call somebody who earns his daily bread from this government, they will give you litanies of what the government has done. I agree. I don't doubt it. But can we see them? Let's see these glorious returns from the government. Is where we are stranded under this government. It's where we are stranded. I came from Calabar during the Christmas. I saw pockets of the coastal roads ongoing. I've seen that. But if you tell me the coastal road has reached so place, I'll be very happy. My journey by road is getting shorter and safer. But please, can you show me the picture to authenticate that truly we have moved from here to here? It's where arguments come in. It's where doubts come in. So in Benue, Reverend Governor Alia, he has a lot of questions to answer. I am impressed with him. If you want to compare him with his predecessors, George Akume, Gabriel Suswam, Samuel Autumn, he is ahead of them.
Really?
As regards infrastructure.
You don't mean it?
It remains to be proven if I am wrong. In fact, I used to ask people, each of these trial did 8 years. In 8 years, can you show me 4 infrastructural realities standing? Take it that in 4 years, you did only 2. So in 8 years, you did 4. From that, your time, can we just see only 4 that are standing? I will sit here and tell you that Governor Akinwumi Ambode, who ruled Lagos for 3 years, delivering infrastructure, then for formality completed 4 years, administering what he has started earlier, in that 3 years, has developed Lagos more than the cumulative 8 years of George Akume, Gabriel Suswam, and Samuel Ortom. And I must say here that the cumulative budget of these three will dwarf whatever budget Ambode used for that 3 years. Will dwarf it. So Benue is a state permanently in development and in infrastructure development wilderness. Benue.
But how was it like when it was merged then, Benue Plateau? Was there any significant sort of access to growth at the time? And do you think the division itself really kick-started what we have as a stunted growth in Benue State?
Well, your question is a historical retrogression.
Yes, that's actually what
that's where at the time, the government, waking up from the dust of war, decided to divide Nigeria. So, Lieutenant or Colonel Odumegu Ojukwu does not have a chunk of territory he can administer and wield authority or influence. That prompted what people call balkanization of Africa. Nigeria got balkanized at the time. So, rather than north, southeast, and southwest, the states were broken into 12. And Benue Plateau emerged. Those were still glory days. In fact, I can tell you that there is this veteran journalist I listened to a lot for more than 15 years, especially as a jambite till I was a copper. I've been to his village too, in Edo State. Okiri Agbonsuremi. Okiri Agbonsuremi will tell you that once upon a time, the most important airport in Nigeria was the Makurdi Airport. That's Benue. Meanwhile, Benue Plateau, the capital was Jos, not Makurdi. Yeah. He also will tell you that, and as people know it, the Air Force Base headquarters was Makurdi.
And that was when, I guess, the governor then was Joseph Gomwok. Joseph Gomwok was the governor at the time.
Now,
the military governor.
Now, I will round up.
Yes.
Benue is a key agricultural development state in Nigeria. They produced once upon a time the largest Beni seeds, soybeans, before we come down to yam and cassava. Soybean is a globally consumed product. Benue was the largest. They are also a hub for salt in Nigeria. They have burnt bricks. If you buy a mango in Benue, a prime mango, Henry, with due respect, the size will challenge your head and mine. You don't eat mango in Benue. You take knife to slice it out. Now, a road from Makurdi to Nsukka, since I passed there in 1996 for the first time, is the same as it is, if not worse. Put 96 to now. Put how many years? So, what the Benue governor is doing now is commendable, but it is at snail pace. Benue, many, in quote, baby states in Nigeria have overtaken Benue in their slumber. A baby state, I dare say, in quote, like Osun, Ebonyi, Gombe. Abia is even is a resurgent state now, and has successfully overtaken Benue. Kebbi. I'm talking of Benue. This is 2026. Benue is 50 years old. How old is Akwa Ibom or Delta? If you go to Agbo town now, Agbo is not the capital in Delta. You will see the infrastructural development from His Excellency Okowa. Because I went there to work as a master compare in Otolopo Kingdom. And I kept looking. That Agbo town is Makurdi, the state capital. Cannot compare. That's not the state capital. So I don't know what Governor George Akume can point at. And they tell you that road you want to say is federal. Federal. Your people, Benue needs multimodal transport system of road, rail, and air to feed the country. To feed the country. Because if you farm in Benue and your agricultural products cannot get out, of what use are they? You take pepper and tomato to the market today, you can't finish selling them, they become wasted immediately. So kudos to Reverend Governor Alia, but I would like him to speak and defend the masses as regards insecurity, because that's the turning point of his integrity. Infrastructure, he is delivering road-wise, but almost on a daily or weekly basis, there's a harvest of death. Once you leave Makurdi, Otukpo, Eke, Ugbokolo, Tukpa towards Adupi into Obolafo, there's a harvest of death. Some people prefer a longer route just to avoid that road. So those are the kind of that's the industrial development we want to see. Not you massage the ego of the president. The president gives the dosage of your massage back to you, and it's a newspaper headline. No, we deserve more than that.
Very well, particularly to whom much is given, much is expected. The gentleman, governor, interestingly, is a priest. A serving priest of God.
And are you aware that he is without a first lady?
Yeah, without a first lady.
Hold on. Being celibate.
Yes.
There is an argument in the state that in the absence of him having a wife, the logical first lady should now become the wife of his deputy governor. No, he has a neutral person.
Okay.
Who is first lady? And I'm asking, from where? From where? Because if the man was celibate or is celibate and his deputy is not, that woman for me.
The deputy ordinarily should be the deputy and the first lady.
So there are little issues, I would say, at bickering level. But the governor himself should fold his sleeves.
Definitely.
Because I'm praying he doesn't go the Ambode way. Because there is a hangover shadow of Senator George Akume, who is presently the secretary to the federal government, looming.
Well, they've decided on the APC candidacy for the state, so I don't think that might go away from him anytime soon.
That is APC.
Yes.
So where my friends at the beer parlor says there is a INEC political party now.
Okay.
And judiciary political party. Where INEC and judiciary political parties retain sanity and other opposition parties are allowed to thrive, a political godfather can sweep that rug off the feet of the Reverend Governor into another place. That person wins his election. Tomorrow, as is customary, he defects back into the APC. And the APC have gained on all fronts.
Very, very well. I love to believe for those who are Catholics, they would agree that the reason that the priest is asked to be celibate is such that he would avoid any sort of distraction, so he can give his utmost best. But one would expect that Governor Alia, Reverend Father Governor Alia, who is the governor of Benue State, would be amongst the best governors in Nigeria, because definitely has no distraction. No wife to call him and tell him this is the issue. No kids to call him and say, hey, daddy, this is our problem. The focus should be forensic. Ensure that Benue State becomes the best state in Nigeria, but that is still lacking. We give kudos to him for doing the best that he can, but more is needed, particularly knowing that he is a priest who has sacrificed his life for the betterment of the society and to put smiles on the faces of people. So more is expected from him. But let's get to other matters. Reps in rowdy session over Tinubu's summon. Budget implementation delay. Innocent Aduluba, we do not operate the parliamentary system any longer. That ended in 1966, and we adopted the presidential system afterwards. Sometimes when I look at the debate between Kemi Badenoch and former Keir Starmer, I love the debate. I love that intellectual fisticuff that they threw on each other. And you feel like, wow, how I wish we would have this in Nigeria, where President Bola Tinubu is having an intellectual fight with the leader of the opposition. And as a result of that, we understand what the issues are and where we are going to. But here we have it. Everyone standing on the mandate with the 10th Assembly. Innocent. Now they're asking President Bola Tinubu to come, and some other persons are saying, no, he does not deserve to come. Sad, isn't it?
There is a blanket that public office holders should take away for Nigeria to grow. It is a blanket or blindfold of gerontocracy. A gerontocracy is ruled by elders. If Omoyele Sowore, the perennial presidential aspirant, calls Tinubu for a debate, you will hear he's too small to call Tinubu for a debate. Is it an age-grade competition? Come for the debate, because two of us are vying for the same seat.
Yeah.
The people will tell you President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic, has been politically deified. And so some people see him too godly to be summoned. If you ask some of these members, like you mentioned, who are floating or standing on mandate, the Senate will vote today that everybody in the national should go and see President Tinubu where he is.
Well,
rather than him coming to...
The Senate President, funnily, had always told his colleagues that our mommy has summoned us for a dinner. That's Oluremi Tinubu has summoned us. Our mommy has asked her children to come for a dinner. So you can see how demeaning that institution of legislation has allowed itself, because everyone is trying to be a sycophant.
You know, I mentioned gerontocracy. Henry, parliamentary presidential does not even rob the society of an intellectually sound president or political leader. You can see the succession of presidents in the last 2 decades being churned out in Ghana, Henry. You can just take a look at our neighbor further west of on the African coast. We are Africans here, where there is, for me, the most important human being that lived after our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Nelson Mandela, a black man. We could see him, the path he trotted. You know, so we can see look at during the COVID. I keep forgetting that doctor, the one on CNN now. Okay. Something live.
Yes.
The doctor warned of states that must stay indoor because of the pervading.
Govt.
Yes, Sanjay. Yes, warned. President Trump conveyed the information. It was in his first tenure, and the governor of Florida said no. Tourism at the beach. Yeah, they have a lot of beach. That is a millionaire playground. Tampa Bay, Paradise City, Key West. From there, with your good vision, about 2 hours boat ride takes you to the Copacabana beach of Cuba. That's where people sunbathe and, you know, we are going out. He defied Sanjay Gupta's advice and President Trump's policy. That was not an offense. It's a concurrent system of government. Now, it was announced that, people are now free to go out about 2 months later. Just mind social distance. And the governor of Maryland said, no, we will extend our stay at home. People can still work from home. Others started going out cautiously. Maryland stayed indoor. In Nigeria, whether opposition, whether the part of... Once the president speaks, everybody kowtow to that comment. Is why it is a legislative duty to summon a president. It is very correct. It is, let's jettison the word summon, to invite a president. Henry, if you and I are president, we will be jostling for that invite to go and address our people.
Yes. An opportunity.
What are you talking? Look, this is a biased invitation, Henry. If we are looking at the race to 2027, it is biased because We don't know for sure who are the other presidential aspirants. But it is biased because a window is being given to President Tinubu, one of the candidates for 2027, to come and address the nation alone.
For free.
Uncontested. It's not a debate. So when you come there, Henry, with your toga of confidence, you will spray the country with why what you are doing is where it is and what you are aiming to do that makes you lead the front of the competition for the next election. And there are sycophants standing, sleeping, and floating on the mandate, shielding a president from the masses INEC told us massively elected him. This, again, is a paradox of representation. And I want to sit here and say, in every matter of vote, Senate should vote electronically. So if you are from your state and you have a senator or a rep from your constituency, you will see whether he voted for President Tinubu to come and address the country or not. Then we will weigh it. Is that the wish of your constituency?
Exactly.
So who is this, your rep, my rep, representing? If he represents an interest antithetical to the yearning of his constituency, where he comes from, he has qualified to be voted out in the next election. These things are not... that's why I told you that here is gerontocracy. My senator is the darling man, Abba Moro. One of the reasons I like the respected Abba Moro is that he is vocal about Benue insecurity. I hear him. If you go online, Honorable Distinguished Senator Abba Moro, Machi, Maino, I greet you. I like what he is doing. But if tomorrow I'm talking about voting for the president to come and address the Senate or not, Benue people who are massive victims of insecurity would like to hear what the president will have to say. Benue is not alone. We hear Kwara or your Plateau, but at least being affected would like to. And Senator Abba Moro votes for the president to come and address. We will know he is voting for what we want. I'm using him as someone direct with me politically, speaking about constituency relations. But if he votes otherwise, meanwhile, we would like to hear the president, then there is a political conflict of interest, Henry. So it is this, let's vote, let's not vote. You hear a blurry voice, aye or nay. Sometimes the nays are louder. the eyes, I don't. So Henry, it's not big deal. A president is invited, summoned, whatever name you call it. That was where the president went. Didn't he swear in? Wasn't there a swearing in? The ministers he nominated all went there for senatorial ratifications. I believe the journey from the entrance of the Senate to that podium is safer than road transport in Nigeria. So President Tinubu is in good hands. This, in fact, I will be happy to see him there, defend his policies so far, and field questions from senators who are not enamored by his style of governance or the situation, the realistic situations in the country. So this is not a mandate time. I think, and this Senate, I don't know how to grade them. Today, they are doing well. If I see Senator Adams Oshomole from Edo North calling for a thorough probe of the former head of NNPCL, Mele Kyari, I'm happy that the Senate are doing their job. That's what job I want to see. Now you see the Senate in another session opposing their agent, because that's the committee where Adams Oshomole sat as a representative of the Senate. Then that is not what the Senate stands for. Henry, if I am to vote, I say aye for the president to come and address us in the Senate. Otherwise, what makes him president, Henry?
Very true. And in the interesting part, I do not know for others, but for some of us who have had the opportunity of occupying positions as leaders of different, minute groups in everywhere we found the opportunity, I can say for a fact, there's nothing as beautiful as being a leader that cares for the people, a leader that is accountable, a leader that understands what they are doing. It's nothing as beautiful as coming to address your people and letting them know what you have in stock for them, letting them know you understand their challenges, letting them know you know what to do going forward. That is what it takes to be a leader. But unfortunately, in Nigeria, what we have are placeholders, people who occupy positions and are so excited for just being there, for being their sake. Little wonder you see the accountability mark or the question is always hanging around them. And what that leads to most of the time is legitimacy error. And when they face it, they begin to complain and think the opposition is after them. But because the cloak of illegitimacy is what is hanging around them and would continue. It's like a ghost, a haunting ghost. Illegitimacy is like a haunting ghost. It never goes away from you because
it's permanent.
Yeah, it's permanent.
It's permanent.
And that is what most of our leaders are going through. Innocent will be here to take us on our main conversation when we return. The Tinubu Obi war of war over safety and political persecution. That in a bit. Enterprise morning it is. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Thank you so very much for being back, and this is still Enterprise Morning. Reaching you from Enterprise Television to our conversation for today. The presidency has dismissed claims by the NDC presidential candidate Peter Obi that the administration of Bola Tinubu is targeting him and threatening his safety. Presidential spokesperson Bayo Onanuga described Obi's allegation as false, saying his claims of not surviving until the 2027 election and being discouraged from attending public events were fabricated and intended to gain public sympathy. He accused Obi of spreading propaganda, exaggerating personal experiences, and blaming the government for every inconvenience. Onanuga also dismissed Obi's complaint about an airport incident, suggesting it may have resulted from a parking violation rather than political persecution. He further stated that Fidelity Bank, in which Obi reportedly has interests, continues to perform well under the Tinubu administration's economic reforms, rejecting claims that the government is targeting the bank. According to Onanuga, the Tinubu administration remains focused on implementing reforms and improving the country, insisting it has no interest in persecuting Obi or interfering with his political activities. Let's get talking. Innocent Doluba still here with us. Innocent, thank you so very much.
My pleasure.
Yes, I'm very so interested and in this reportage, in the story, and what we have to talk about today, because this is more like a leadership filtering that we're doing this morning, and this brings us to 2027 as we draw closer to it. Obi, who is the opposition. But just before we get into Obi's case, let's talk about El-Rufai, because we're talking about persecution of opposition. Yesterday, we saw the wives of El-Rufai pleading to President Bola Tinubu to let go their husband. And the reason they gave was because they said they had campaigned for him, that without El-Rufai, President Bola Tinubu would not have emerged as the president of Nigeria, and the reasons why he should be allowed to go. So do you see that, number one, as the opposition, as fight against the opposition by President Bola Tinubu, or persecution of the opposition? Then before we get into Obi's case?
It is what it is.
Which one exactly?
Because when El-Rufai was in the APC fold, there was no fight. There was no arrest.
Yes.
It's like, let me use the word, he was still singing on your mandate, you know. And indeed, El-Rufai is a big foot in the formation of the APC. Staunchly, in the days of President Muhammadu Buhari, when Nasir El-Rufai, as governor of Kaduna State, was incumbent for 2 tenures. I want to even say that for all the name we give to Jagaban, he is a student of El-Rufai. Yes, because El-Rufai is the first Nigerian to get Muslim tickets in Kaduna, where, as far as I'm concerned, it's nearly a 50-50 Muslim
50,
Christian
50.
population.
Yes.
I'm not talking about maybe Katsina or maybe Jigawa. No, Kaduna State. You know, if you go to Plateau, the deputy sometimes are Muslim. If you come to Benue, where they don't have.
Yeah, at all.
And so, but if you come to like Lagos, even though it's a southwestern state, where the governor is Christian, the deputy is Muslim. Where the governor is Muslim, deputy, you know.
Yes.
So El-Rufai broke that jinx. I would say is a political insensitivity. And today, being the first, I want to believe the master strategist, President Bola, has copied him. Because with El-Rufai, it was unprecedented. With President Tinubu, we can now point, oh, it happened in one state. And then through and through, El-Rufai was a strong party man, a staunch ally, and a vocal, I would say, Islamic activist, because I've listened to some of his clips at mosque and all of that. All of these ingredients played into a system that facilitated the emergence and sustainability of the APC in Kaduna State. So today, El-Rufai is at the wrong end of the bargain, and to that extent, my James Hadley Chase will tell you, if you don't obey the gun I'm pointing at you, I will make you sing tenor in the choir in hell. So we don't know where El-Rufai is singing tenor from right now, the dungeons behind bars. It's what it is. It's an attack on the opposition. We are here when there was that young man who said, or who alleged that there were discrepancies with military budgets. I would think they will probe the military while also working on the man to produce evidence. Oh no, we saw the treatment. I think there was somebody too who made some inclement comments against the First Lady.
Yes.
I would think the aggrieved First Lady will seek redress in a court. Was that the outcome? Today, if you are seen speaking against, if you want to even go to the road to protest without arms, get ready. If you went there as 100, there will be harvest of fatalities, and the number returning will be a budget deficit. You know. So yes, El-Rufai is a political matter. A lot of people will tell you he sang himself into it. Yeah. A lot of people will tell you he cost himself. But my concern is, within the democratic structures, is this how to deal with such a situation? Is where the wives are pleading. And when you see women come out, Henry, the situation is different. It's an emotional apogee. Yeah.
But let's, just before we get into Obi, the Greek mythology calls Nemesis as the goddess of retribution. So do we see the goddess of retribution hanging around El-Rufai in this part, knowing all that he has played? He has once said that no one is fit enough to arrest him, not even the president. So do you see President Bola Tinubu as the nemesis for El-Rufai at this point?
You know, life is different strokes for different folks. And it could even be what you see it to be from your side. It's about 6 and 9. I want to be objective, sitting here and talking enlightenment to millions of viewers, that the instruments of law and order are to be applied. If we go the route of nemesis, is sentiments.
Is sentiment.
Is sentiment. Nemesis does not stand in a court of law. Is the evidence, the facts that you build. Now, there are many sources of law. the sources of law that are traceable to sentiments are going to blur the sharp edges the law possessed, Henry. So, yes, there are, what is that man's name now? Sheikh Husani, the respected former senator, will tell you different facts against El-Rufai. Yeah. I travel to Kaduna a lot. There are places El-Rufai has forced emir on them. They were fine, maybe with their traditional chiefs.
Their chiefdoms.
Yes, but the institution of an emirate is a different religious complexion. Oh. Such people can jubilate that nemesis have caught up with El-Rufai. A lot of people who are at the wrong end of the stick from El-Rufai can lay claim to nemesis. I will say, by the instruments of democracy and law, is El-Rufai being fairly treated? That's where I will stand. There will be said, if for instance I'm on my way out, someone was driving and smears me mud. I say hello, I say you are, and you know all those negative expletives. I'll be sad. When I get to the junction, I saw that one truck or tractor has bashed his car. A part of my feeling was good for him. Good for him. He smeared me mud and was bragging. But if that man was wrongly bashed by the traffic laws, he still, my sentiments don't count. Yes, regrettably, in Nigeria, what we call first body will be lost. There will be repairs. But the truck man will answer if a transport of law enforcement agent is there. So, yes, El-Rufai here and there is harvesting nemesis. There are many people who will tell you that. Truth be told. But within the democratic instruments, is he being treated as should? His wives would like you to prosecute him in court. Let them hire a lawyer. So you bring your case, they bring their case, and he goes on bail as is required. And he keeps coming and going depending on the weight of his surety. You know, they want that. Then you lock him somewhere. Have you fixed a date for any court hearing? Have you fixed a date for, you know, it's where we are. And that's why, nemesis or not, a government official is not above the law. So if El-Rufai told you nobody can arrest him, he is right. So it means that when you arrest him, try him. Don't just arrest him, lock him, and throw away the key. He is a family man. And look, a big family man at that. Because El-Rufai is a man that commands resources.
All right, so let's get to Peter Gregory Obi now. Gregory Obi had said that what he is facing now is insympathical with what other opposition leaders are equally facing. That was why we started with El-Rufai. Now, Peter Obi's allegation that he has been frustrated largely by the ruling party. We've seen that, we've read about that, we've discussed that in the past. But why do you think a responsible government would love to deny all of this and call it mere exaggeration by someone who needs an attention?
Well, I don't know if I'll have access to INEC. I have a question for them. In the results of the 2023 presidential elections, Bola Tinubu emerged president by coming first. In second position was Alhaji Atiku Abubakar Turakin Adamawa, His Excellency, former vice president. And in third, His Excellency Peter Obi, former governor of Anambra State, who flew the flag of a Labour Party. Each time this discourse comes up, I'm asking myself, if I came first and I'm running again, I'll be more bothered with who came second, more than who came third.
Because the person who came second is your market challenger.
Do you know what they say in figure of speech? He is hot on your heels. He's hot on your heels. There was Usain Bolt, a Jamaican sprinter, legendary. There was Johan Blake.
Johan Blake.
When Usain Bolt sleeps, Blake.
Your Blake takes over.
Usain Bolt will not worry about
A Cambodian.
No, I will give you a name. The Nigerian boy, Divine Oduduru, who came first in one school competition in Canada, and maybe All African Games.
Was able to qualify for the finals of the
Usain
100-meter dash.
Attention is on Johan Blake, his countryman, Tyson Gay, Justin Gatlin, and all of them who can give him sprint or photo finish. I'm wondering why in Nigeria there is a first position. Look at the World Cup now. France won in 2018. Argentina won in 2022. Two of them are still in the race.
Yes.
And I will tell you, Argentina is every day looking over their shoulder at France.
Yes.
Even though they are in different groups. And France will do the same. You know who are your direct threats and rivals. Where does Peter Obi leapfrogs Atiku? Because in science, that is sublimation. Yes. Where solid can transfer from solid to gas without passing through liquid. Is Peter Obi sublimated from third to first? I don't, it's where I want to know. Are there things they are not telling us?
But don't you think, because it's quite interesting that you are bringing it from this strata, which is working towards what Nigerians might think over the years, that it's possible that Peter Obi actually, according to El-Rufai, actually won the 2023 general elections. Do you think that that fear, that phobia for Obi could be traced to that link? The fact that, according to El-Rufai, it was Peter Obi that won the 2023 general elections.
Well, there have been litigations, and President Bola Tinubu have been proven to be the winner. It's where law is hinged on evidence and court verdicts. So I won't pander to El-Rufai, because El-Rufai, for me, that's why I said El-Rufai is a victim of political persecution. El-Rufai should have spoken like this when he was not incarcerated. Then people the believability index would be high. Albeit El-Rufai may have truth. It remains to be seen if his truth has facts that are acceptable in the public to reinstate Peter Obi. So I won't, it will be labor loss to analyze in that direction. Where I will go is this, from your question.
Yes.
Peter Gregory Obi defeated Asiwaju in his stronghold here in Lagos. So I have two reasons why I think Peter Obi is trending. I don't know if I'm right or wrong. One, I was inside the Lagos Chamber of Commerce in that off Adeola Odeku when, no, off Akin Adeshola. Because once you enter the Victoria Island after crossing the Falomo Bridge, it's Akin Adeshola. I was at LCCI when Peter Obi came in there. I was a member of an election panel, a research team, scaling the presidential contestants. And Peter Obi didn't fall in the top 10 as at October 2022. He did it. We even had, what was it, Omori Showore. There was that other man that was a former banker. I keep forgetting his name. Izibo.
Okay, the CBN, the former...
I think so.
Deputy CBN.
I keep forgetting his name.
Yes. The Professor Mohalu.
Kingsley Mohalu.
Mohalu, yeah.
I was also, there were names, what was his name now? That darling, I used to remember him when I remember Bank of Industry, but it's on the larger scale. That man in agriculture in Africa there.
Okay.
Yes. Somebody, I don't know, I'm forgetting it now. But I think I remember him. So those were the names with President Tinubu, with Tinubu at the time, not the president, leading. In that hall, Peter Obi made comments that I took my phone and sent a message to my wife that in case this man contests, he will lose. Okay. He will not lose for lack of electoral votes from the masses. He will lose because his policy to make Labour Party victorious is against the big powers. He said modular refinery is not a crime. Okay. That the oil, the fuel they refine Are they combustible? Do we hear that vehicles go and just get... That you should go and give them license. Tax them. Open them to loan. Where the NNPC is sleeping. Let those men be giving us fuel in that capacity. And let it be on record that Nigeria has fuel they consume and possibly export marginally. Okay. That's a source of empowering your Naira. In my head. I can't believe that because we were told that all of those are criminal. 2, Obi has said over the years that he does not have money to give you. Yeah. If you like, vote for me. If you like, don't vote for me. Yet, he pulled that kind of result in 2023. The one INEC gave us. Not the one Erufai is confessing. So if a man that says, because we are here, we see them distribute a dosage of political palliatives, 5,000 naira, noodles, and bread. Bread, you know. He is not doing that. And he is winning. Then thirdly, I don't know why in a multi-party system like Nigeria, they tell you the incumbent party, APC, celebrates that an opposition party is factionalized and grounded. Oh, Labour was this. They went to, what's the party with Atiku now? ADC. ADC is this. Then MDC is this. We shouldn't be, I wouldn't be attacking, I wouldn't as a president, as a senate, as a judiciary, be looking at the party. I will look at the agency that registered the party with all of these discrepancies. Not to celebrate that, oh, Atiku is not on the ballot. Oh, Obi is not on the ballot. Why not? Don't we have a body that registers political parties, that brings up candidates that should contest offices? Are we screening and scrutinizing INEC? Possibly their ally, the judiciary? Or are we just happy that the NDC, because Obi is he is persecuted. That claim is not wrong. Do you know what it is, Henry, to be in limbo? Conscious, intelligent, with men and resources, you have no political location. That's witchcraft. Today you are in Labour. They say Labour is ABC. You leave Labour. You go to ADC. After a while, you are well invested and settled. Here they come. ADC is this. And then tomorrow you are in NDC. And I was asking you off camera, is the NDC now dissolved or, you know? So that alone can kill Obi. Wow, yeah. Of a hypertension. You don't know where. And look, the man has said openly he has no money. He has said, probe me and sue me. Let me be tried. Why are we not doing that? Why? So that's I'm back to my premise. What makes somebody who came, let me use the word last, because the other political contestant, maybe with due respect to His Excellency Rabiu Kwankwaso, were not as prominent as the Tinubu, Atiku, Obi. So what makes, in quote, the man that came last suddenly saw him? I hardly hear people targeting Atiku. Yes. Like I gave you the analysis from the tracks for the sprinters. That's where we should be more worried about. So Henry, I don't know what your next question is. Because
very soon. Obi is, it's quite glaring. But of course, we have a couple of months to 2027. Lots of things still will be unfolding. Right here on Enterprise Television, we promise to bring them to you as they unfold. And straight to Bayo Onanuga, once an adversarial journalist, but now a PR manager who practices access journalism. I still remember April 13th, 1992, he did a cover story for IBB that said Nigeria has Babangida given up. That was the cover story against the mismanagement of the economy and the proliferation of corruption during Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida. The same Bayo Onanuga now, even with the worsening crisis, far worse than what we had experienced during IBB, is now the access journalist and PR manager of what he had gone against. So this is to show you how men change, isn't it? How things fall apart and people of great repute are no longer what they say they are. Quite
well, Henry, a laborer is worthy of his wages.
Okay.
That's what I can say.
All right.
And he who pays the piper.
Well, that is what we have for today. We hope that democracy would last as much as we want it to last in Nigeria. Since 1993, we have been managing it. We hope that it would not collapse with this administration and it would last for a very long time. Still in its teething stage, and we'll keep learning and hope for
No,
the
it's
best.
no more.
It's no longer in
It's
the teething stage.
under President Olusegun Obasanjo, the cliche nascent democracy.
Okay.
How teething are we?
Well, at the time, it was
We
always
are
thought
3
that
years shy of 30.
30.
Is that teething?
Well,
A 27-year-old woman, some have children that are about to write their common entrance exam. So is she teething while her child is almost out of primary school?
well, that is what it is. We hope for better days, Innocent. Thank you so very much for your time.
Oh, my pleasure.
Beautiful.
My pleasure.
All right, we have to wind up to give room for other programs coming up on Enterprise Television. So while we get ready for that, to do well to be part of everything that we have done today. Read up on everything we've talked about when you visit us at enterprisetvnews.com. Join the conversation also, if you may. That is when you visit us at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Igwebike. Have yourself a splendid day, and I'll see you on another episode. Bye-bye.